Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise indeed. Welcome back, everybody, to another fun-filled episode of The Final Word here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, with your boy MattyB on the call. Our Thursday night and our final night of the week rendition of the program. Big night here on the show because, as the show title indicates tonight, so it begins. Tonight is, in essence, an ending of the old guard. The next time we come back on the air as the final word, we're going to be entering into the crazy fun phase that will take us through the next 6 months of the calendar, and that, of course, is the start of the baseball season. Because we are literally sitting, as we talk tonight, less than 7 days away from the home opener and season opener of the Phillies, and less than 6 days away from the actual start of the baseball season, which will begin on Wednesday, March 25th. Yankees and Giants getting center stage to kick it all off for 2026. So tonight, we're going to try to close up some loose ends because it's going to get crazy around here. You're going to be seeing a lot of me. You're going to be seeing a lot of Mike. And God help me, if I got to go to his house and physically make him get on the air, you're going to be seeing a lot of Big Al because it's all hands on deck for the next 6 months. And with the convergence of the Flyers making this semi, at this point in time, a playoff run, as promised, they keep getting points. I'll keep putting their post games on. So with the win last night, an impressive overtime win against Anaheim, impressive yet concerning win all at the same time for me, but they got the points. So that means they have secured another week for next week on post-game duty. So we'll keep doing it as long as they keep winning. And, of course, if they get to the playoffs, and again, I've always said this, it's a great problem to have if we got to talk about the beginning of the Phillies season converging to Flyers playoff hockey. It's not a problem we've had to go through yet. It's almost, I've become accustomed to not having to deal with that problem. So I'm getting, I guess, a little complacent about that. And obviously the staffing right now is not optimal to deal with it, but you know what? We will deal with it. And we will definitely give you coverage of the playoff run if it occurs. And we will cover the Flyers season to the end if it becomes applicable. So tonight, in a lot of ways, the next time we talk, it's going to be a whole new world. So we're going to try to put the bows on some things tonight. Obviously, trending and the big topics in the news today, the Eagles' offseason plan continues to spurt and sputter down the line. They added the running back today. What's his name? Damon Pierce. Is that his name? Yeah, Damon Pierce to the stable of retread stars of 2026. We can continue to talk Eagles offseason. I have no problem with it. I'm not actually too down on the Eagle offseason plan. I mean, it's all about filling in depth pieces at this point from some positions. Still don't like what's going on with the offensive line. Don't like the tight end position, and I still don't like CB2, but, you know, the rest of it is all just sort of fluff and mirror to me as well. But we can get into the Eagles offseason some more tonight if you like. We talk about the Eagles' new quarterback. People are starting to talk themselves in. I love this town, man, and I love how the fans just sort of, you know, I mean, Andy Dalton is 38 friggin' years old. I can honestly say Andy Dalton is not young enough to be my son. That's bad. That's pretty bad. But people are talking themselves into this actually being some sort of stroke of genius move to acquire Andy Dalton. And I don't believe that this has anything to do with the Tanner McKee trade. Honestly, I don't. Unless, as like I mentioned last night, somebody loses a quarterback in preseason and that desperately needs Andy Dalton or desperately needs Tanner McKee to kind of pilot their ship in 2026 and how we can swing a first-round draft pick a la the Sam Bradford deal back in 2016. Unless it's something like that, I don't think this has anything to do with Tanner McKee being traded. I think this is another depth move, and it might possibly be a quarterback competition in the room this summer when it comes to the backup and the third string. But I heard an interesting theory today. I don't remember where I heard it. I saw it for about 5 seconds. I'm not saying I don't believe it. And I'm surprised it hasn't sent Homer Nation into a friggin' uproar. But there was somebody floating the idea out there that this could possibly be me to move on from Jalen Hurts. Which is, well, I mean, I'd be fine with that, of course. But I'm not even that out there to go that direction with this trade. I don't think that has anything to do with it. But I wouldn't be. Yeah, of course I'd be fine with it. But I wasn't prepared to raise that flag. But somebody did mention that. I don't believe that's the possibility. But I guess anything is a possibility. A.J. Brown still remains on this team. Max Crosby still remains on the Raiders. A lot of this stuff is still unknown and undetermined as we get through the early phases of the offseason. So we can talk Eagle offseason. The Phillies spring training continues along down there in Clearwater. Bryce Harper spoke today after returning back from his failed opportunity with the WBC. Essentially giving me always a bridesmaid, never a bride speech, right? I'm always there, and I can't seem to get it done, so I'm motivated more and more enough now to go in and win a World Series. That's fine. Yeah, he's saying what he has to say. But unless it translates to the field, and I don't want him talking like that, man, and I don't want him being extra motivated. I don't need the extra fire for the not elite nonsense, because all that means to me is he's going to be overswinging even more. Just leave the guy alone, man. Let him be what he is. Let him try to figure himself out. Don't give him any extra motivation to overswing even more. All right. Because he overswings as it is. I don't need him to overcompensate for overcompensating. I don't. But we'll talk more about Phillies as we are, again, 6 days or 7 days, less than 7. Opening day would have already come and gone 7 days from now. 3:00 start next Thursday at the bank. But so we'd be into the post-game mode actually the post-game would be over a week from at this particular moment in time. But we are less than 7 days away from it counting. And on Sunday, of course, here on this network, we're going to give you the our shot at it, our 2026 Phillies preview. The Fighting's final returns. Me, Al, and Mike will be here at 5 p.m. on Sunday, live in color. To break that down for you, because now it's time to put up and shut up, because we got baseball, man. We got baseball in less than a week, and here you are, hot off the presses, our first Fighting's final lineup to start you off in 2026. It's going to be me and Al taking the reins for the opener. We'll be the ones reporting on that game. Mike will take you on Saturday, and I have you in my traditional Sunday afternoon spot, but no. There will not be a Down on the Phillies Farm report this week. There will be one next week, though, because AAA will start, I believe, on Monday. Is that when AAA starts? Monday. Next Monday. Not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. So I'll give you a AAA report into the second week of the season. The rest of the levels don't get going until early in April, so we'll fall them in as they need to be fallen into. So, but here it is. It's for real now. Me and Al on Thursday. Mike Laro has you Saturday, and I will have you on Sunday for the Ranger series. So it's no more time. No, we can't talk about it. We can't prepare anymore. So it begins, and so it is. And of course, it is the Rangers in town here coming up. For the first series of the year. And we'll see how this all starts to kind of play out. So that's obviously on the table tonight. The Flyers 3-2 win over the Ducks last night for their perseverance and their effort. They get to go to LA tonight and go back to back against the Kings. In a situation where the Flyers need every single point and every game at this point. Obviously, the schedule makers are not doing them any favors. They're going to have to go do what they got to do. Sam Ersson, I believe, is the announced starter. Got to leave it more out in the ice tonight, boys. We got to keep pushing this, and we will have you tonight. I will not have you tonight, man. That was rough last night. Having to hang around till about 1 a.m. But Mike, he gets the honor tonight, as he will have you post game Flyers Kings, and then he'll be back on a more reasonable hour of the day on Saturday to have you post-game Flyers and Sharks. So there's our Clear the Ice schedule for the rest of the week. And as promised, they keep winning. We keep doing it. I said that the Clear the Ice is on a week-to-week basis right now. And it's a very, very low bar. You need to get points, And last night they secured 2. So that's enough to move on to the final week or to the next week. But we're going to start running out of these weeks soon. and we need the wins. We need points in every game. Every single game, they got to find a way to get a point. And that's really what it's come down to for the Flyers this season. So we'll continue. We'll talk to Flyers tonight if you like. Anything else that might be on your mind. And the Day in Philadelphia Sports History, your of the night segment, and your card review all returns tonight in its special place where it needs to be. So all that on the program for you tonight. Joe, what's up, my man? Sean Couturier not going tonight. Yeah. Does it really matter though? I mean, he's a good face-off guy at this point, but that's about all. Sean Couturier is a lot of the other another one of the questions that have to be dealt with at some point in this offseason. What are we going to do about him and all that? But they need points, Joe. I don't care how they get them. They got to beg, borrow, and steal for them, but they got to get the points. So, but let's get it going tonight. Let's start the show. Let me do some more promoting because again, we're getting into that. It's weird, guys. It's absolutely weird for me to sit here now in mid to late March and say that it's all about the change. I remember when we went back. I remember, when this thing kind of throttled back down at the end of October, and I was like, yeah, man. It's almost like you come out of a marathon, you've been running 100 miles an hour for all these months, and then boom, it's over. And you're like, okay, now what? Now we get to sit back and relax. But you get complacent during that time. And here we are sitting here on the final word, because not only is this the beginning of the end for me, not for me, but the beginning of the new era of Philadelphia sports, the 1,000-mile-an-hour race that will take us all the way through October. But this is the last time you're going to see me at 9:00, because the next time we come back to talk on this program, it'll be at my new old time of 10 p.m. Because starting on Sunday, because of Phillies games, I am going to give you a few days to get used to it again. So we're going to move back on Sunday night, starting this Sunday at 10 p.m. So starting Sunday and running through hopefully sometime Halloween, you'll be seeing this program Sunday through Thursdays at 10 p.m. And if I have a Phillies postgame, if that happens, then there will be no final word for that night. And of course, you'll know this at least a week in advance, as I put the schedules out at least 10 days in advance to try to get ahead of everything. So, but yeah, again, this is a time of new beginnings here on the show and here on the program and here on the network. And I couldn't be happier. Honestly, couldn't be happier. So let's get things rolling here tonight with your Day in Philadelphia sports history on this Thursday night, March the 19th. 1981, we go back to on this day in 1981. Bobby Clarke scored his 1,000th NHL point in a 5-3 win over the Boston Bruins at Spectrum. Bloodied from taking a slap shot to the head earlier in the game. Don't forget, Clarke didn't wear a helmet. Clark's point came on an early third period goal that gave the Flyers a 5-0 lead. At that time, Clarke was just the 15th player in NFL history to accomplish the feat, and the first to do it with wearing solely the orange and the black. On an added milestone note, Flyers great Tim Kerr registered his first career hat trick in that game. I do not remember this game. I do remember, it's funny because I do remember Bobby Clarke playing. I do. When I was young, I remember the end of his career. This was back when this was back during the era. Remember when the Flyers wore pants? Remember that 82, like 81, 82 season? They wore pants for a year. Them and the Hartford Whalers. I remember that vividly. God, ugly. But I do remember Bobby Clarke's the end of his career. I remember the end of Bill Barber's career. Obviously, I remember the beginning of Tim Kerr, Brian Propp, all those guys. But I came on into the Flyers world probably at the end of the heyday. At not the end of the Stanley Cup runs, but the end of those players' runs, right? Bobby Clarke, Bill Barber, players like that. And I have vivid memories of them playing at the end of their careers. And I have vivid memories of watching Bobby Clark skate around without his helmet on. He had the shorter hair at this point in his career, but I remember it vividly. And we talked about Bobby Clark earlier in the week because he had another milestone when it was the day in sports history when he got into the argument about the media, boiled over about the Eric Lindros stuff. But, like him or lump him, he's my favorite Flyer of all time, hands down. I grew up with him. He was the first icon. I mean, if you look at the four majors when I was a kid, the four major sports, the faces of those sports for me were obviously Schmidt with the Phillies, Clark with the Flyers, Jaworski with the Eagles, and Dr. J with the Sixers. That was the face of the four majors for me as a youth. And I have a Bobby Clark jersey. He's my all-time favorite Flyer. He represents, in my opinion, the excellence that this organization once was and has so far fallen off of. But 1,000 points is nothing to shake a stick at. And he did it on this night back in 81. So to a hell of a player, and yes, even though he had his moments, mostly non-positive or non-productive moments as the Flyers GM, and he sort of was the start of this, former Flyer player management trend that has taken on a whole life of itself throughout the course of the Flyers franchise. He's still, in my opinion, the best Flyer that's ever played the game. The best player that ever played the game, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, captain, Hockey Hall of Famer, Bobby Clark. And on this night back in 1981, he registered his 1,000th NHL point. And that little nugget of information was brought to you by the fine folks here at the It's Rap Sports Network. Tomorrow night, your Friday nights will get going with the Philly Friday Frenzy as Big Al will return to finish out your week and get your weekend started off the right way. So make sure you're tuned in every Friday night at 9 p.m. for the Philly Friday Frenzy with Big Al. And how that's going to work going forward is Al is going to be the purveyor of our Friday night Fighting's Final. So like I do a lot of those twofer, like where I have my show and then I go right into the Clear the Ice type thing. It's the same concept with Al on Friday nights during the Philly season. He's going to do his show. Either he's going to start off with his show or start off with the Fighting's Final. He's going to figure out how to kind of work that through. But it's going to be a twofer with Al on Friday nights doing the Fighting's Finals and the Philly Friday Frenzy. Just kind of like how I was doing it with some of the Clear the Ice stuff with this show. So Al's going to kind of do that same concept with the Fighting's Final on Fridays. Al will also, for the most part, I think I can announce this to the world, be our Tuesday night guy on the Fighting's Final as well. So we'll put him firmly in the weeks on Tuesdays and Fridays. Then me and Mike will fall in all over the place around those other days to cover everything up. But it's all coming into shape and form and into the developmental stage. So we get this thing going next week. I cannot believe it's here, man. I honestly can't believe it's here. If the Phillies are off, will you still do a 9 o'clock show? No. My show will now be on at 10 o'clock religiously until sometime in October. There's another reason why I'm moving into 10 is because of my spring and summer occupations. Things are going to be pretty regulated right now for me until about the end of May. And then the end of May, I enter a gauntlet of stuff that takes me for the rest of the summer to do that I need every minute of the day and every hour of the night to get home. So there's a reason why there's more than just the Phillies reason that we're moving my show back to 10 o'clock. It's occupationally as well. I'm going to need that extra time at night here starting in the spring, late spring, early summer. So my show will be on at 10 o'clock religiously from this point until sometime, hopefully, after Halloween. That's just the way it's been sort of worked out, Joe. But there you go. So let's get into our conversation. By the way, let me get those phone lines open for you. This is your night tonight, everybody. It's your night every night, actually. Chime into the program. Phone lines there is open. Links should be popping into your chat rooms as we speak. You know the drill. You pop on that link. It puts you backstage. I'll put you on camera. If you do not want to be on camera, that's fine. You don't have to be. I just have to be able to hear you and talk to you. And you have to be able to talk to me. So we can just do audio. But if you're interested to come on board, pop that link. It'll put you backstage. I'll put you on stage. And we will have ourselves a conversation. So our lead story tonight is So It Begins. It's pretty basically the changes that are coming with the It's a Wrap Sports Network over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, echoing in the sign of summertime, right? 7 days from now, less than 7 days from now, we will be talking Phillies, Rangers. We will be talking opening day, opening weekend. It's all going to start for real. And I guess a great lead-in story for this night. With that being said, how are you guys feeling about your Philadelphia Phillies? And I say this with renewed vigor, right? I know things settled down a lot. The offseason was very uninspiring. The echoes of running it back were prevalent. Well, we let it go. They went to camp. They did their training camp, spring training. We did the WBC. And for me personally, the echoes or the problems with this Phillies potential pitfalls and landmines of this Phillies offense was unexpectedly had me like cold water in my face watching Team USA's offense in that championship game. I was like, oh God, this is the Phillies offense. Have we already gotten back to this point? It brought all the uncertainty. It brought all the confidence that I have in this team. It brought all that back by watching that championship game the other night. Because I was like, not only am I watching this now, but I'm going to be watching this for the next 162 games. Am I ready for this? Everything's back in focus. We didn't do enough offensively. We're the same group that left the Dodger Stadium last year. Oh, no. We don't have any more time. Honestly, it was a crushing dose of reality for me watching Team USA lifelessly go down against Venezuela the other night, because I knew I was getting a sneak peek at what the next 6 months of my life was going to be. So, with the changes with Justin Crawford and Adolis, that's how you say his name, Adolis Garcia, the absence of Nick Castellanos, and I'm speaking just from the offensive standpoint, because we can talk pitching up, down, side by side. You're not going to change my mind. The Phillies have the best pitching staff in the NL East, and they probably have a top 5 pitching staff in Major League Baseball, still with all their uncertainty in it. But offensively speaking, are we like, I mean, how do we get here? And we're about to embark on this journey with essentially the same group that's been for the last 4 years. And do you feel confident that anything will be different? Again, I'm telling you, what I saw the other night in that baseball game, man, and that WBC game, that brought it all crushing and crashing. I'm like, oh no, this is the Phillies. The season's starting soon. We haven't done enough. We're still the same team. Damn, where did the time go? So where do you guys feel about the Phillies, offensively speaking? Let's roll to the phones. Let's open them up. Joe Hale, leading off tonight. Didn't you lead off last night too?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Would you get a little haircut there, Joe?
Yes, I got it yesterday.
Looking good.
Well, I want to start by giving you some breaking news. I just got All-Star Game tickets.
How much you pay for them, Joe?
If
you don't mind me, if you want to pop it privately, I'll do that. But if you don't mind saying,
I got it. I spent $200, but for one, I got the whole package. I got the Derby, I got the draft, and I got the All-Star Game for $200, just for one ticket.
How did you do this?
My buddy is a season ticket holder, and he can't make it because he's in Iraq.
Well, I'm sorry that he's in Iraq. I've been there. It's nothing to see there, but that's good because I'm trying. Matter of fact, me and the wife talked about it last night. I know the Phillies were offering something early in the off season about maybe a package where if you get they offered you, I think, 2 tickets to the opener as well as the All-Star package minus the home run derby for like $300, I think it was. And we're trying to get there. We're trying to get to the game too. So I need to start getting on the stick and finding a cheap way to get to the All-Star game.
I'll go live on somewhere and I'll tag It's a Wrap Sports Network.
What, at the All-Star game? Well, Joe, I hope I'm standing in the stadium like a couple rows away from you. I really hope I'm there. We'll be, listen, we're going to do something for maybe some on location stuff. Maybe I'll take this thing on the road. I got to talk to Al. We got to figure out what we're going to do. We'll do something.
Center is hosting all access for All-Star Game week.
Who is?
The Convention Center.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at AAA All-Star Game tickets. $25.
Yeah, it's very manageable.
And that's in Lehigh. That's in Iron Pigs.
Coca-Cola Park.
I'm surprised it's not USA the world in that.
You're surprised what you cut out there?
I'm surprised it's not USA versus the world.
No. I mean, this is the futures game. This is something that they do every year. I love this. This is not only AAA. This is all levels of minor leagues that get put together on this. This is pretty fun.
So, the leading topic, Flyers. I'm okay. Last night, I tried to stay up, and I fell asleep. The Anaheim radio feed put me to bed. They were saying, yes. I had managed to get in that somehow. They were complaining about the onside call. I want your fault because I missed the post game, which I did rewatch it this morning.
Well, the post game was only 12 minutes long because it was a late night and I was not expecting overtime. Listen, I get it. It's part of the job, but boy, for a West Coast game on a freaking Wednesday night and then to go overtime, I mean, come on, man. Cut me a break. But as far as that offsides went, it was weird because the puck was in the air. It was up kind of off the ice. And I think he was like not hand passing it in, but it was a weird. It was just weird. It looked weird. And there wasn't anything to overturn. I don't know necessarily if the play was offsides, but there wasn't nothing on the camera angle. It was called onside on the ice, and there was nothing that they could like overrule it with. There was nothing concrete there to overturn it. So, I mean, it was onside on the ice. It would have been the same thing if it was, say, called offside on the ice. There would have been nothing to overturn it back to onside.
Okay. And I'm going to praise Minchkoff for going in hard in that overtime that led to the goal from no.
You're not going to praise him from. What about praising him from ducking a fight? Yeah, did you see that?
I love, but he dropped the penalty.
That's right.
He threw the penalty first.
That's right. It's a very smart player. Yeah.
Little NHL update right now. What do the Flyers need to happen to make the playoffs?
They have a 4.2% chance to make the playoffs as it stands right now. All right. They essentially they need to win out and get help. I mean, they don't control anything. They have a 4% chance to make the playoffs, or like 3.8% or something like that. They have a 1.4% chance in getting the first overall pick. So those numbers are starting to come up towards each other. Joe, they got to get points in every game, and they got to get help. And that's all they got to look at it right now. They just got to go out and play and win every game, or at least come away with a point in every game.
Right now, the Detroit game is 1-1. I can actually put that on in a little bit.
So you're scoreboard watching at this point?
Yes. Islanders
too much to watch.
Or tied 2-2.
There's like 5 teams ahead of them, man. I'm not watching all that. That's too much.
Bruins are beating up on the Jets 4-1. The Jackets are beating up on the Rangers, the lowly Rangers.
And you know what, Joe? A lot of the games the Flyers have down the stretch, I haven't counted it, but I've seen it. A lot of these games are out of conference games. That doesn't bode well for them either. You know?
I want to talk March Madness.
Go ahead.
A lot of upsets pooled today.
What's that? Yeah, I saw High Point beat Wisconsin. I did see that.
Duke barely
Duke barely won. I did see that. Yes. Cinderella always comes to this thing. That's what makes March Madness great and that tournament great. And that's why I'm a big fan of any kind of tournament like that. You give teams an opportunity to get in, and it doesn't matter what they've done throughout the year. As long as they qualify, it gives them an opportunity to go in and do some damage. I would like the BCS to be about 20 teams long. It should be about 20, the BCS. But this is a good start. But I love tournaments like this, man. I absolutely love it because anything can happen, and it usually does.
Upset. VCU beat North Carolina.
There you go.
My team's coming on in like 20 minutes.
Is it Nova?
That's tomorrow. It's Penn.
Who are they playing?
Fighting Illini.
They're playing Illinois?
Yes.
Really?
A lot of people said that they could win. Penn.
This is what, their first time back in the tournament in 5 years? 6 years?
Yes.
Why not? They're playing with house money.
And who was it? Eagles signed 2 people today.
Saw Damon Pierce.
And another tight end.
Who was the tight end?
I'm not sure. It was I was bowling with Rick, which he was trying to probably call in. He was asking for it today.
Okay. I know they reworked Jake Elliott's contract.
Yes.
It is what it is. Listen, the Eagles' plan right now is pretty much for what I thought it was going to be. It's about adding depth. I get all that, but they have not properly addressed the tight end position yet, and they also haven't properly addressed cornerback too. They've just slapped Band-Aids over those positions.
I think you go out in a draft and go get somebody.
Tight end wise?
No, defense wise. I'm okay with Dallas Goedert coming back on the one.
For the near term, yes, Joe, absolutely. But are we going to be playing this game with Dallas Goedert next year? And again, I get it. It's a tryout contract. It's a prove it deal again. Dallas Goedert is the one taking all the risk here by signing a 1-year deal to just prove it again. I get that. But I don't know. I look at the long term success of this football team. This is a really critical year for this core of players. Very critical year. And again, a lot like last year, I don't see Howie going all in on trying to give him as much wiggle room as he can. Again, the draft hasn't happened yet, and we have a whole bunch of the offseason left, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling I'm feeling the same vibe I got last offseason.
Unless Howie the Magnificent, I'm just calling him Magnificent for now, goes up and trades up for the Oregon tight end that everybody wants, and then trades back into the first round to go get a corner. Because you can trade picks, your comp picks now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I doubt he's going to take a first round pick on a cornerback. Again, I mean, he just did it a couple years ago. And I don't know if there's a cornerback up there like that. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Again, we have a lot to do. Don't ever call Howie the Magnificent on this show ever again.
Okay. Oh, I should have waited for Big Al then. One last thing. No more Harry the K's at Citizens Bank Park, and they took the statue away.
Whoa! Hang on, Joe. You can't drop a bombshell. Okay, explain this. I have not heard of this at all. This would have been something that would have passed through my window. What's going on?
I just got an update from Action News, and I live in South Jersey. I'm right like 5 minutes over from the bank. I I just
What's that, the Walt Whitman Bridge down there, right? That's the Walt Whitman, right?
Yes. I live in Westville.
Okay.
I just got an update. No more Harry K restaurant, and apparently they're taking down his statue. I don't know why. I wonder if it's something to do with Kane Callis.
What did he do?
He was on drugs or something.
Yeah. I don't know. That's big time. That would I'll research that and we'll.
Do you want me to send you the food
definitely talk more?
Because
yeah, send me what you got, man. Send me the link on that.
They just re-upped Bowles Barbecue. I don't know if you knew that. You can meet him.
I know. I met him.
And
he signed a baseball card too.
Yeah, he signed it. He'll give you. He gives out his rookie card.
Does he really?
Yes. If you ask him for it, he'll do it.
I had him sign a Chicago White Sox card, which I think is a better card. It's cooler because it's him wearing that crazy goofy uniform.
So,
yeah. All right, Joe. I'll look into that, and that's big news if they're doing that. And I don't know that they can't try to just like throw a curveball with that. They gotta hit that directly. They can't just pass that through us thinking we're not going to say anything. But all right, Joe. Remember Sunday, 10 o'clock, not 9 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock is the preview show.
And fans ask questions for the preview show. Can you guys answer it?
Well, I'm sure I'm probably going to be the host of that. I'll talk to the guys. I just don't want the show to go 7 hours. I mean, we could. Well, you can ask questions. You mean like open the phone lines?
No, like.
No, of course. Yeah, drop the questions, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
No lines, because that'll take like 10 hours.
Yeah, we'll be doing that thing till Wednesday. Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll be answering questions. Yeah, please.
Garcia looks good in spring training.
Oh, I had that 4-for-4 hit the other night. Yeah, I mean, listen, again, my original question is, though, does this offense I mean, there's no more time to talk about signing anybody, no off-season plan to discuss anymore. This is it. Is this going to be any different than it's been over the last 4 years?
Yes, because of what Harper said. He's going to walk more.
Christ. Come on, Joe. Come on, you're not talking to Al and Mike here, man. All right, this isn't the Homer Nation. This isn't Fairy Dust Land. Come on. Because what Harper said. Joe, this is coming from a guy that went 3 for like 25 in the WBC. And yes, he had the one big hit that he can kind of be like, the heat's off a little bit, but come on, man.
Walk more.
What?
He said he's going to walk more.
Well, we'll see. I think all this talk is just going to motivate him to swing harder and more over the top than ever before, which does not bode well for anybody.
I got you.
All right, man. All right, Joe, we'll talk, man. Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right. Because of what Harper said. Oh, by the way, I made an erroneous statement last night, and when I said it, I knew I had to go and back it up. I had to go research it. So I was doing the draft stuff for the of the night segment, talking about draft players, right, for the Phillies. And throughout all that research of researching these college and high school players, the one thing I did not do was actually figure out where the hell the Phillies were drafting in 2026. I'm like, wait a second, I don't even know where they're drafting. So I went and did a quick Google search on it last night, and I saw something that the Phillies were picking at 7 overall and at like 21 overall. And I was like, what? Of course, I'm like, 2 first-round draft picks? Whoa. But that didn't sit well. That just didn't sound right. So I went back and did the deeper dive to a more reputable actual MLB site. And the Phillies actually don't have, in the realm of the top 30, 31 picks, a traditional first-round pick. No. They originally had the 26th overall, which was where they placed, for the draft order. But because they violated level 2 of the luxury tax, they got penalized 10 draft picks. So that 26th pick went down to 36th overall. Technically, the 36th pick is as I said, technically still in the first round, but it's considered the competitive A round of the draft. So the Phillies, traditionally speaking, do not have a first round draft pick this summer. They have the 36th overall pick, which is actually in the second round by traditional standards. But because of these tiers they have, because of teams getting penalized and losing this and forfeiting that, they have a separate like designation for it. It's like the competitive A bracket or something. So the Phillies will be selecting 36th overall in the first round of this summer's draft, which is a bit different than having 2 first round picks at 7 and 21. A little bit. And that sucks. Seeing that we're hosting the goddamn draft. That kind of sucks. Oh, man. Ricky is watching. Hey, Ricky, I see you down there, man. Give me a minute. I'll pull you up. MP's checking in. The only chances at the Flyer, if the Red Wings falter, Flyers have 3 left with Detroit. Now, that's a good point. They do have 3 left with Detroit. 3, really? I saw 2. Listen, MP, and all you other Flyers fans out there, hey, there is nobody out there that wants this more than I do, right? But again, I have to caution myself. What I watched last night in Anaheim was a miserably boring hockey game. All right. The Flyers found a way not to lose it. And that's really what happened. Everyone's, it's a gutsy win. And it was a gutsy win. They turtled up. They got out to that 2-0 lead. And then the offense disappeared for like literally 3/4 of the game. Nothing offensively. And you're never going to be able to protect a 2-0 lead in the first period at the NHL level. You're just not going to. You got to continue to push. And they didn't. And they wilted. Had opportunities. That power play. I mean, man. And it's not indicative to 27 or 25, 26. This power play has been trash for 5-6 years now. And it's sinking to new levels on a nightly basis. Thank God the fan base has got smart enough now to stop calling for the coach's head, the power play coach, to understand that they just don't have the talent. And that's really what it comes down to for me, is they don't have the talent to be a real threat. And everyone's like, well, they got to get a taste. They got to do this. They got to do that. They got to get into the playoffs, give the fans what they want. Don't set the record by being the only Flyer franchise to not, the only era of Flyers hockey not to make the playoffs for 6 straight years. I get all that. But at the end of the day, the only way they're going to get better and truly meet the goal that we're looking to get is through, drafting higher. And that's really it. In this way, this thing is setting up for the Flyers. They got the cap money. They just don't have the cap people. There's just not really players out there that they can cultivate that fit their timeline through free agency. Trades, Danny B, obviously that he's got that left. He can get really creative with some of the trades, and he may have to, and I hope he does. But it really comes down to the draft for me. And it comes down to consistently making good, sound draft decisions with as high as picks as you can get. And right now, the Flyers, the drafting has not yielded what we thought it was going to yield. You watch Cutter Gauthier now with 35 goals. And you're like, God damn, man, really? It's getting frustrating, right? But a little taste of playoff hockey for me, if it costs me 4 to 5 draft spots, it's just not worth it, honestly. We are so far away from being a Stanley Cup contender that I'd rather take the draft capital than the playoffs, honestly. I really would. The Flyers are not equipped at all to make a playoff run. At all. They won't get out of the first round. They may win a game. They're just an offensively lethargic team that lacks any firepower, that lacks any kind of, competent goal scoring ability. They're one of the slowest teams in transition that I've ever watched in my entire life, with puck decisions. 2-on-1s or odd man rushes with this team are painful to watch. How indecisive these players are with what they're going to do with the puck. They're getting good goaltending. That's been obviously a step up from last year. The defense is a mess. It's just there's just not enough there for me to get excited about a legitimate playoff run. I'd rather just get the higher draft pick. I'm not saying tank, which that would be really nice, but I think they're pulling the wool over your eyes, thinking that the playoffs are going to make it all better. I disagree. I think it's about getting better and putting yourself in the best positions. BCU just came back to beat North Carolina, 19-point blown lead. But that's not again. That's what I said. MP. I have watched literally 1/3 of a half of college basketball all year, and that was last week. Waiting for the I think it was the Team USA game on Friday night. I was watching the Big East tournament championship between UConn and St. John's. And that's all the college basketball I watched this season. But this tournament has always been the purest essence of sports. Even with the way the transfer portal has muddled up college sports, this tournament still remains unscathed when it comes to the abilities and the way for teams to upset each other. I've always loved the March Madness. Honestly, it's a great exhibition of sport, and Cinderella always comes. She always shows up, and she always makes her presence known. So good for VCU, good for High Point, good for all those schools that are going to make a name for themselves over the next 2 weeks. Oh, man. Harry the K's food area is being renamed to Ghost Energy Deck. The statue is not coming down. That's what I'm saying. And again, I know Joe's got his head or heart in the right place, but that's big news, man. That wouldn't be something that they would be able to sneak by me or anybody else, man, or anybody else. Right? You gotta. I mean, come on. This is. I'd be like taking this Mike Schmidt statue down. Like, I mean, there's going to be questions asked, right? There's going to be questions asked. Red Wings just won 3-1. Flyers are cooked anyway. See, I ain't the only one. Listen, it's a great little story, and just like it when the Phillies are not good, I shouldn't say not good, but not like real good, but they still play competitive September baseball because there's still something to play for in September. That keeps you going, right? That keeps you going, even though it's a long shot. They're going to get out of playoffs, but competitive, something to play for hockey in April is a step for this team, right? That to me is more of a legitimate step than actually getting to the playoffs at this point. But having to play meaningful hockey in April is a step for this hockey team. And last year we didn't have that. Year before that we did. But getting back to that point and having meaningful hockey to play in April, whether or not that meaningful hockey, develops into a playoff opportunity or not, as long as it's meaningful. And I think they've already eclipsed their point total from last year, which is great. I mean, these are all great signs of improvement, but the end of the day is I don't want a playoff appearance. I want a Stanley Cup. And it's not like we're like that team that's ready to explode into the NHL playoffs and be like, oh, we're going on a run. No, we're that, we're the little engine that finally got up over the hill, at least for this season. And that ain't nothing for me, man. I want to go in there and I want to do some damage. I want to make some noise. I want to win a cup. And the Flyers just aren't nowhere near that point yet. And that's okay for another year, right? Right. VCU is coached by Phil. I did not know that. Look at that. MP dropping some of that knowledge on us all. All right, back to the phones and our main man, Ricky Deal. Ricky, how are you tonight?
There you go. And go Flyers.
Ricky Deal saying, let's go Flyers. Ricky, you're bowling today?
Mm-hmm.
Did you bowl a 300? Do you bowl with the bumpers up or bumpers down?
Down.
Well, you're a better bowler than me. I don't. I use them damn bumpers, man. Funny story, Ricky. About 20 years ago, when I was a young soldier in the Army, I was on our unit out of Fort Polk, Louisiana, had a company bowling team. And I was on it. and I was the worst bowler. The only reason why I was on the damn thing was like every Wednesday night we went to the bowling alley and got drunk, right? And because we were on the bowling team and the commander was on the bowling team, we didn't have to do PT on Thursday morning, so I could sleep in on Thursday morning. So that's the only reason why I did the damn thing. But I was a terrible bowler. I've never, ever figured out how to bowl. I just can't roll the damn thing straight, man. I don't know. It's the mechanic of it all. I envy people that can do it. So yes, Ricky, I am a bumpers up kind of guy. Proudly a bumpers up kind of guy. So, no shame in that, Ricky. All right, Ricky. So you say let's go Flyers. Ricky, do you think they make the playoffs this year? They overtake the 5 teams that are ahead of them and get into the playoffs?
Allergies got you.
Ricky, you there?
Grab Zyrtec for total relief. It works fast and lasts a full 24 hours. What are you waiting for?
All right, Ricky, I'm going to put you backstage. Ricky's communications always go haywire around this time of the night. I'll put you backstage, Ricky. I'll bring you back, but let's get to the next caller, and that's our main man, Michael Papernick. Michael Papernick joins the show. Mike, what's up?
What up, Matty? Hey, Ricky, I'm glad you're doing fine, buddy. And Joe, what's up? Now, what's this deal? I'm hearing about the running back they signed from the Eagles today. Why didn't they sign Tank Bisbee?
I wanted to signing AJ Dillon. Damon Pierce is the man's name.
I don't want AJ Dillon. No. That's how many games he played this year? 1 game? No, he's horrible. No.
But that's
Tank. No.
Tank, come on. Are you really a Tank Bigsby truther there, Papernick? You think that this guy had?
Yeah.
Was he Boston? Is he a Boston Scott kind of guy? Is that what he is?
Okay. Yeah, and here's the sense. Here's what I'm saying. It's like when they signed that running back from Seattle the year before, he never played. They paid him what $5-6 million and didn't play at all. So you're bringing AJ. How he barreled with AJ Dillon, coming off a neck injury. How many games did he play? Really?
I honestly don't remember him playing any games.
Look. Here's the deal. They're not going to put him in when it's 3rd and 1. That's the tush push, or they'll do Saquon. They're not going to do him on the goal line. So why wouldn't you? Why do you need him? Tank Bisbee, he has some good games. I don't know this kid they got from Houston, but I mean, you would have thought they were brought Tank in because he's familiar with the players and everything. But I guess it don't work like that.
I don't know if he's a free agent. Hang on, let me see if he's a free agent. Contract.
Well, I hope he is. Well, that means he'll be carrying 4 running backs. That means somebody's getting cut.
No, he's not a free agent. He's under contract for next year.
Okay, so Dillon's going. So they got Saquon, Big Tank, the new whatever that rookie was they drafted from Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Shipley. Shipley, and then the new kid they just signed. So they got 4 running backs.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have a little competition.
Well, no. Remember they signed that running back from Atlanta who's supposed to be the kickoff returner? I don't think he ever made the field either.
Man, what was that?
Last
who was
year.
that? Yeah, who was that guy?
That's my point.
What the hell was that guy's name? They put him. They were looking for a punt returner, right? And they were a kickoff returner, and they signed him for that. I thought that was Tank Bigsby. No, he was from the Texans, right?
Yeah, Tank came over from Jacksonville in trade. Now I read this little article. I don't know I think it was Yahoo. Just read a piece of it. New England is still in on AJ Brown now, but in this article it did say that New England knows they're going to have to basically pony up more because it's 3. They got a first, a third, and a fourth. I think a first, third, and a fourth, or first. All the picks are this year. That Denver gave up for Waddle to Miami. Yep. All 3 picks are this year. So you know how he's salivating. Now they said the only thing they think of, unless they think Romeo Dobbs is the number one receiver, which they don't. This article said basically he's not, and this other kid that they got can step up to be the second receiver. So I'm thinking he's going to be in New England. I think you said that the other night too. You know, that's probably where. And then
but the question will be,
thing. Yeah.
The question will be whether or not Howie pulls. I don't. More and more as we get kind of closer to it, I don't think it's going to be for compensation next year, not this year. I think it'll be post June 1st. What about you? You think that? You think Howie waits till post June 1st? Because I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can absorb that cap hit. Honestly.
Well, here's the thing: if he makes the trade, right, he can get draft picks this year, but be a post June pick, right? Or no, it has all the picks got to be next year.
I mentioned that on the show. I don't know if you can post date a trade and then actually receive like assets of it up front and then not complete the trade until 2 months later. I don't. I got to look into that. It doesn't sound like you can.
The only thing I can think of is if unless Howie's not worried about it, making the trade and going into next year, you know what I mean? Then he's got whatever he gets. Maybe he'll have 2 first-round picks and a couple other. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? He's got to get something better than what Waddle got, because AJ Brown is better than Waddle.
Oh yeah, AJ Brown's
looked the numbers
one.
up. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I agree. But either way, Peppernick, I just don't think there's any chance he's back. I think he's gone. I don't think he's an Eagle in 26. I really don't.
Well, yeah, well, either way, it's going to be June 1st, or it's going to be, June 1st trade, or it's going to be before that. I mean, it depends on what they can, what they can get. Now, the Tanner McKee thing, I did read this, that Andy might be the emergency quarterback. Tanner's might be the backup, but Pittsburgh still needs a quarterback. And they mentioned either Tanner McKee or Andy Dalton, possibly, if they need a quarterback to go there.
Right, but now there's there's one thing about the Andy Dalton thing that has me a little concerned. Andy Dalton's getting like $4 million. That's his contract. So the Eagles are going to carry an emergency quarterback and pay him around $3-4 million a year.
Well, no, I think Howie's going to trade him. That's just what
you know.
Well, I don't think Howie can. I don't think Howie can trade him. Ain't that what happened with Oh, he can't trade him back to the Eagles. He can trade him anywhere else, but I mean, he can't trade him back to Carolina.
Right.
Yeah, but you've got to think about this. I get what you're saying. But this is today's money. That's just silly money to just throw around to these guys. That's why I said, man, I keep telling I look at my grandson, I'm like, you want to be a punter or a kicker or a backup quarterback in the NFL? You have a career for 30 years, and you should make $50 million. I tell my grandson every day that.
After Garrett Stubbs as a baseball player. Either that, right?
Well, he's a baseball player. Yeah. Well, no, that's what I want to tell you. So Garrett Stubbs' contract is a 2-way contract.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
No, it is. It's a 2-way. I read it. He could go back down to to down there. I think it's a 2-way. What I read, he's making $750. That's what he's making, $750,000.
Damn. Let's look into this up, because this could be breaking news. This is something I was not aware of. I was under the impression.
This is what I read the other day. I could swear something like that.
Okay, hang on. Let's look at it. Garrett Stubbs' contract has signed a split contract with the Phillies for the 2026 season. The contract details this. It is a 2-way deal. So, the Stubbs will be out of but he is out of minor league options, meaning that he will not be eligible to be sent to AAA. So it's a split contract. So it's not a 2-way.
I guess he has to agree to go to it. Would he have to agree to go there then?
Well, yeah, but he has to go through the CBA.
The waiver.
Waiver. He's got to be DFA'd. Yeah, and then he's got to go through waivers, not claim that he can return.
Listen, there's nobody else needs a party boy. I can tell you that right now. Anybody that picks up that dude, there's only one guy that wants him. There's only one organization and one manager that loves this guy for some reason. That's our Phillies and the buffoon manager. Now, you just mentioned something about Harper. What's he saying now? He's going to walk more.
Harper came back to spring training today. Yeah, so he came back and he made some comments about one being upset with obviously not always being the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? Not finishing the deal with the WBC, not winning World Series, but dedicating himself to going out and winning the World Series this year. And I did not hear this part, but Joe's reporting that he said that he's going to walk more. And I was like, yeah, well, that's first of all, we all know that not to be the case. Right. If anything, he's going to overcompensate even more and swing at more stuff the wrong way than before, and it's going to create more problems. And again, Kaepernick, my question after watching the championship game between the USA and Venezuela, it was like a splash of cold water in my face. Like, oh my God, this is the Phillies offense, and we're about to start this thing again. I wasn't ready to see this offense again. I mean, oh my God, it's really here. It's back. It's not going anywhere. Now I'm stuck with this for 162 games, and Harper's one of the main problems. I don't believe that statement if he said it about walking more. Do you believe that Bryce Harper's going to be more selective at the plate?
Okay. Did you ever watch Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's Up in Smoke? It's their podcast. It's on Tubi.
Yeah.
They got a lot. Okay, on Tubi. They had Sammy Sosa on there. Sammy Sosa. They asked him about Barry Bonds, and this is what I'm going to get with Bryce. I'm not comparing them, but I'm saying this is what Bryce. He said he's never seen Barry Bonds swing at a bad pitch. That he's always waited for his pitch. That's the opposite of Harper. Harper, if he was smart, he'd just stand there. They're going to throw a joke at you. Just might as well lead the league in walks. Why not? Why swing at everything? I mean, but he's the opposite of Barry. Sammy said he was like Barry was the most relaxed player, like up there, just like he just like was relaxed. You know, he found his pitch, and that's all he swung at. His pitch. He said he never rarely swung at bad pitches. Barry Bonds. This is what Sammy said.
Okay.
Now I'm just comparing that to Harper, where Harper should have that mindset of like Barry. You know, maybe you got these guys out there, Barry Bonds, and all these guys that they can hit the ball. You know, why don't they bring them in and have them talk to these guys? You know, come in and talk to Harper.
Kaepernick, he's got Don Mattingly on the other side of the bench you can talk to.
Yeah. Well, listen. I'll use this analogy. Dwight Howard played for the Orlando Magic, right?
Yeah.
Then he went to Houston, and he had Hakeem Olajuwon and Kevin McHale.
Yeah.
He only lived off his talent. He didn't want to get better. He could have probably been one of the top 5 centers of all time if he wanted to. If he probably worked with them two dudes.
I 100%
there you go. Does Harper want to work with Mattingly? Is he going to do it?
And you know what? I know K-Long is the hitting guru there, and Mattingly is a bench coach. But honestly, I would be more interested to see what Don Mattingly has to say about my swing. I honestly
look
would.
Look. What's the big difference if Kevin Long's helping him, and you got Don Mattingly there, and you got Charlie Manuel? My God, boy, you got right there. You got a plethora of 3 guys that know hitting, and that could help you. You know, maybe you take a little bit of everything, and then you try to figure it out in the one little thing. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just something that one of them say that clicks in his head. But you know, it's a tough thing. Harper should bat. See, my thing is this: I want Harper to bat number 2. I am so tired of hearing he has nobody protecting him. I hope Robbie switches them up, because then Harper there's no more people crying that Harper has nobody protecting him. Because that's all I hear. He has nobody protecting him. Nobody.
Aren't elite players?
I told you last night.
Aren't elite players like supposed to protect themselves? Isn't that what they do? Elite players?
Yeah. If you look this up, Matty, I saw it. I sent it to my buddy. I think I told you the other day. I think he went up to like 34% swinging at high fastballs last year. He was up. He's going up every year, missing. He can't catch up to them.
And he couldn't catch up to them in the damn WBC tournament either. Badly could not catch up to them.
Now, I mean, if there's a good thing to it's like an extended. It's like spring training. You know what I mean? Now, when he gets into the game, who knows? Maybe, you know what I mean. Hopefully, it changes. Now, I hope Garcia is batting fourth, because the guy's he's had 30-some home runs in his career before, a couple times. I don't want to see Alec Baum batting fourth, because that gives everybody fuel to the fire to say, oh, Harper has nobody protecting him. You'll hear every Harper person that loves him, all these homers, everybody, blah, blah, blah. They'll come up with all these excuses for him. I mean,
I agree. I agree. And we have 7 days, Kaepernick, it all starts. In less than 7 days it starts.
Now,
can you believe that?
Let me just, I'm just going to let you know that. But I'm going to say Harper's going to cry for more money. Start asking for more money around June. He's going to tell him he's won a new he wants more money again. Watch, it's going to start. That's all going to start popping back up. Once more money.
Regardless how he's hitting.
Yeah,
does he have to be hot?
Yeah, I don't care. He's going to ask for more money. He's been asking for the last 3 years. What's he done? He ain't done nothing. This Phillies team has done nothing. So he's going to cry for it because he knows there's a CBA coming. That's what he's going to do. He's going to cry for the money. The guy hasn't produced 100 RBI season since 2019, and he only has one other. He's had 200 RBI seasons in his career. If the average person didn't know who Bryce Harper was, they probably would have think he probably has 40 home runs a year, a 5-time MVP, and all World Series. They probably would. They don't understand. The guy's a great player, but we killed Joel Embiid for. Now we know Joel don't get in shape, but for not showing up in big games. When was the last time Harper showed up in a big game?
2022, Game 6 of the NLCS.
There it is, and I guarantee every Harper homer is living off that yet.
Yeah,
and they're all living, and people are still living off the. And that was the World Series, right? Wasn't that the World Series year?
No, it was the NLCS against the Padres.
Oh, okay. Well, they're still living off the World Series year. They got hot, got to the World Series, and blah blah blah.
That was the same. Yeah, it was the World Series year, but it was the NLCS.
Yeah, and then Arizona just put the blueprint out there how to beat the Phillies. Just throw junk at them. Once you throw junk, it's an infection on that team.
And it's been downhill ever since.
It is. I mean, and it's just, Harper should just keep his mouth shut. That's what he needs to be. You want to focus. Just go in. Just say I'm having a great day, great time, and that's it. Move on. That's all. Focus.
Yeah, absolutely. I really the whole elite. Listen, I know. I think Harper's an elite player. I do. But it's not about being elite or not elite. It never really has been for me. It's about being clutch versus not clutch. And that's what I look for. I don't care if Harper goes 0 for 4 in a game. Just as long as that one hit comes in the 8th inning with runners on, or in the 9th inning with runners on, or keep an inning going or something. I don't care if he goes 1 for 4 in a game. As long as he gets that hit when I need it.
Do you know that World Series that World Series year that they went? Harper only hit 16 home runs. He was hurt most of the year.
Yeah, he was dealing with the broken finger and the Tommy John crap.
Now, I think the difference between him and Schwarber, I think that it was like a 1 or 2 home runs and like 3 RBI difference. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber has carried the Phillies. Carried them.
Yes,
and this is when he was leading off. Who was protecting him when he was leading off?
Trey Turner.
Wasn't Harper. It wasn't Harper. You see where I'm going? I mean, and Schwarber, you don't hear anything Schwarber complains about. He don't like the bat outside of the 1-2 hole. Really, don't get it. But where was he batting in the World Baseball Classic?
3.
Where was he batting in the World? Schwarber's third.
It was Witt, Harper, Schwarber, Judge. Yeah, he was batting 3rd.
Okay, so if I was, I would flip that around and I put Harper. You know what? I think Harper would be better off as 2nd, because here's the thing: when he gets on base, he can still steal a base. Schwarber gets on base, he's not that threat. He can't scare the pitcher as much as Harper probably could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah.
So I think
listen,
I think if you well, I mean, look, you're not going to get Baum there. You're not going to get Crawford there. You're not going to get nobody but either Harper or Schwarber at number 2. You know that. I know that. And hopefully Phillies Nation knows that by now.
it should be Turner, Bohm, Harper, Schwarber, Garcia, Real Muto, Marsh, Stott, Crawford. That should be the goddamn line.
Okay. I'm with you on that one. I'm the opposite. Crawford, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Garcia, Baum, Marsh, JT, and then the rest. I throw Crawford right into the fire. Isn't he leading off, or is he leading off in spring training? What's the difference between spring training and MLB? Seriously.
No, they've had him batting all over the place. He's led off, but he's also batted in the 9 hole. He's led off, but he's also batted at 9. They've been moving him around.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. I said the same thing last night. This kid is bred to lead off in baseball.
100%.
That's what his whole career's been. So why? It's like trying to reinvent the wheel. Why do that? Put him where he belongs. Trey Turner, for all Trey Turner's fault, after his first year when the fans stood up and gave him a standing ovation, yada yada yada, he figured it out. He figured out how to get back. Now leading off, but I think he's a hell of a number 2 guy. I think he can bunt the ball. See, Trey's like an old school guy. I think he can do a little bit of everything, but they don't do that. They don't do it no more. Yeah. But I think he's that guy that can move players around. He's your number 2. It's either him or Baum, like you say. That's how I look. I would put Crawford number 1, man. Put so much pressure on that pitchers. Man, you got Crawford gets on base. Then you got Turner on base. Then you bring up the Bombers. After that, the guys, there should be no excuses then.
Now, ultimately, that's where Crawford will be. He will lead off. Now, whether or not that's this season, next season, call your boy, ask Thompson. that's the person we got to talk to.
Well,
I mean, they're gonna say they're not gonna throw him in the fire. They're gonna put him at 9. They're gonna let him get comfortable. Yeah. But I would not be surprised at some point this season he is leading off. I do believe that, and that's where he will be as his career kind of develops. He will end up being a leadoff guy.
But the problem is, it's going to be a few years because Turner's got got like 8 years left, 7 years left on his contract.
Well, as you said, Turner could be a 2. I'm 100% okay with Trey Turner batting in a 2 hole. 100% okay with that. If Crawford's leading off, 100% okay with that.
Do you know exactly what the Aiden Miller injury is?
They're saying someone is lower back.
That's not. I better hope it's because if they're thinking about
at 1 pitch in the spring, he has not taken 1 at bat. I'm
going to say this: if Baum's leaving next year, what they're predicting, he's walking.
Yep.
They better hope this kid's healthy enough to play third. Ain't got nothing wrong with his back.
He's going to end up spending another few weeks down in Clearwater, then probably starting out with the Threshers, and then. Yeah, I don't know if Aiden Miller's trajectory is Philadelphia this year. This injury is going to set him back probably a little bit, but yeah, I'd have nothing more than that other than
now. Here's the bigger question: do you believe it's a real injury, or is this the way the Phillies can save face without keeping them up here?
I don't think you take away players' spring training. I think you got. I hear what you're saying there, but. Unless they've been working them out on some backfield, but no, I don't know. I listen. There's one thing about being deceptive, and there's another thing about being destructive. I don't know if you take his entire spring training. Maybe the injury is not as significant, and they're just playing it safe, whatever. But I hope not. I hope that. Well, one, I hope he's not hurt, and then honestly, I guess if I find out he's not hurt, then I'd be better. But I don't. They don't have to do all that because I don't think he was going to. I don't know. I know I didn't have really going to start the season in Philadelphia. The kid's played 1 game at AAA his entire career.
But I don't understand why people really worry about that.
Because there's not a need right now. Aiden Miller's not a need right now. He's not. They got a third baseman, right? And that's how they're looking at this. They're not going to blow a year of his contract when they have a third baseman option right now. Now, if that changes. If Bohm goes where Bohm goes typically, then maybe we readjust that. But right now they're playing it. They're using a business model here by preserving a year of this kid's service time while Bohm is here. Again, I'm not necessarily against that, but if the need arises where you got to give him a shot, give him a shot. But right now, I agree with him. There's no rush for Aiden Miller, in my opinion, right now.
And how old is he?
I think he's 19 or 20 now. I think he's 20 this year.
He's only 20. Okay.
2021.
He's like
he's
20.
in there.
Okay.
He's in that 2021 area.
Listen, I get what happened with Ryan Howard. He was stuck behind Jim Thome. He was like 24 when he came up, wasn't he? That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see that.
No, it's 1 year. He, as you mentioned, there's no way. I agree with you. There's no way in hell the Eagles offer Alec Boehm a long-term contract next year. He's gone. Okay. He's a UFA, and if the season tanks, he'll probably get traded in season. But no, he's gone, and he won't be back next year. And that's going to be Aiden Miller's time. 2027 is going to be his year.
Oh, I hope so, because I mean, I definitely don't want to see Trey Turner at third base. Put this kid in there and just let him play, man. I mean, what's the worst that happens? He shits the bucket. I mean, that's the worst that happens. I mean,
you don't want the Phillies to give third base over to Armando Sosa?
No, I don't want. You hear Stott, you hear Turner. I don't want to see none of them at third base.
No.
You know, I don't. I mean, I don't know if he's actually a shortstop. I mean, I'm not comparing him to Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt was a shortstop converted to third base.
So Miller was a third baseman. He grew up as a third baseman. He was drafted as a third baseman, but they converted him to shortstop.
They did. Okay, I was okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was the opposite. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's a third baseman by trade.
Now, how big is he physically? Do you know?
I don't know. What is Aiden Miller's friggin'? Let me say, Aiden Miller.
I think being third base, you gotta be about 6 foot to 6'2". I think is perfect for third base.
Yeah, let me see. I mean, I got this right here. I have the prospects page tabbed. Aiden Miller is. What we got here? 6'1".
Okay, that's about big.
6'1", 205.
Listen, I mean, I look. I've seen Schmidt. You know, I've seen Scott Rowland. You know, and stuff like that. And I mean, Alex Rodriguez. My God, going from third to short to third. I mean, that to me. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Schmidt's the greatest third baseman I've ever seen, but. Just what Alex Rodriguez did was amazing. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like physically, you know what I mean? They were. Mike Schmidt wasn't a real big guy. Rowland was big. Rowland was like 6'4", I think. He was a big guy,
but he was filled out. Alec Boehm's like 6'3" and weighs 100 pounds. He looks like a damn scarecrow standing out there, man. He's not a third baseman.
Well, that's what they said. That was what they were saying. He should have been a first baseman when he came up. That's where he should be.
Or a right fielder or a left fielder. It's just stuck his ass in the outfield.
Does he have the arm for it?
Put him in right field.
Does he have speed?
Yeah, I think he could run down. And no worse than Castellanos could do.
Well, no worse than Rhys Hoskins. You got to put no. Rhys Hoskins was the
Alec Boehm. I got to give Alec Boehm a round. I mean, I think he's really worked on trying to be a good defensive third baseman, and I honestly think he gives you everything he has. And I do think he's a quality baseball player, but I'm not paying him big money. He's a free agent.
No,
let somebody else pay him, and maybe he can revitalize his career somewhere else. But yeah, I got to give Alec Boehm a lot of credit. He's taken a lot here. He's not the most mature person in the world, and I think he's developed into a serviceable third baseman. You know what I mean?
You see the Phillies I get what you're saying with that. You know what they should do with him? Seriously, have him sit down with Mike Schmidt and let Mike Schmidt tell what he did for 18 years or whatever, how long he played in Philly and how he handled it. And Mike said Mike regrets he wish he handled it differently. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But talk to him and let him. I mean, Schmidt came out with the wig, the mock. He did. I mean, come on. You see where I'm going. There's a stat I'll find. I'll message you. I think I might have. I think it was for like 10 years. I think it was, or I forget how many years it was. He averaged like 37 home runs a year, something like that. They were saying 34 home runs a year.
Here's a question for you, Papernick.
Plus RBI.
Who protected Schmidt?
Greg Luzinski for a few years. But after that, what do you got?
Consistently
Gary
in his
Matthews
career.
and all that?
Yeah, but who protected him consistently? Nobody.
Nobody. No, and he
nobody.
was hitting home runs in real ballparks, not these little
Not these bandboxes.
upgraded minor league stadiums.
Exactly.
If you had, just think about this. If you put like a Schmidt, I'm using guys who are just home run hitters, Schmidt, a Dave Kingman, a Dale Murphy, a Cecil Fielder who was hitting out Detroit Stadium. My God. I mean,
100 home runs average a year. That'd be the new number, man.
I mean, Cecil Fielder was hitting them. Remember old Detroit Stadium? He was hitting them over the roof.
Yeah, no, these players have no idea. They got no clue.
None. I mean,
yeah, no.
Well, listen, you have a good night. I got to finish up what I'm doing here at work, and I'll see you Sunday, 10 o'clock, right?
Sunday at 10 o'clock, Papernick. We're moving back to our summer hours, man. Baseball has arrived.
So it's going to go back to 10 o'clock now?
It'll be 10 o'clock when I'm not doing Fighting Final post games. And if I'm doing Fighting Finals post games, well, go ahead.
What's the first game for the Phillies?
Thursday at 3.
So what's this Sunday that you're talking about, that you and Joe were talking about?
This Sunday at 5, we're doing the our Phillies 2026 preview show. Where we're going, me, Mike, and Al all together to launch season 5 of the Fighting's Final, our post game show. So.
I feel for you.
So right now, listen, I wouldn't know what to do with my summers without it, man. Honestly, because
I feel for you because you're gonna have to deal with them in the Harper deal, and
No, you're right. No, that's a good point.
Look,
but I'll make sure I'm feeling good when I get on the air.
Look, I'll eat crow on anything that I'm wrong with. You know what I mean? If Harper goes out and does what he does, I'll eat crow. And I hate Harper. I just don't think he's lived up to his contract, whether by injury or just in general. He hasn't lived up to it. That's my only complaint.
Nobody can argue that. Nobody can argue that at all. Nobody can argue that. He has.
All right. You have a good night. I'll see you Sunday night, Matty.
All right, Michael Papernick joining us here on the show. Ricky, I saw you backstage. I could hear you, Ricky. I'm sorry that you could not hear me. Ricky, try on Sunday night. I'm gonna get into the home stretch of this show here. Phone lines are open, Ricky, but try on Sunday. What's up with Dylan Moore's contract? That is a minor league deal. So Moore can go if he doesn't make the team, and I know he got hurt. That's no big deal. He'll just get sent back down to the minors. No harm, no foul. And Aiden Miller's 21. Yes, he is. And again, I hear the frustration about Phillies in their developmental issues, right? God knows if anybody out there feels it, I feel it. I understand. I made it a concerted effort on my part on this network and when I was with EOP to educate people on the Phillies minor leagues and the players that dwell within. And it's been a barren wasteland for a lot of years, but it's no longer that. We're starting to get a little bit of the fruit on the vine here. Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter being the first. I mean, let's face it. You can make an argument for Stott and Bohm, but really, with the arrival of Painter and Crawford, this is that first like anticipated hit here. So I know people are anxious to see Aiden Miller. I'm anxious to see him play, but I'm also a realist about having to understand that he only played one game in AAA, and now he's dealing with an injury. And also that I believe the plan for Aiden Miller all along was to wait out Alec Bohm, even though the Phillies were converting him to a shortstop, which I don't understand why the hell they were doing that with Turner. But Aiden Miller will be a Philly in 2027. It'll be his spot, third base. Barring anything, maybe a trade, I don't know, but barring any of that, his time will come next year. Now we got to, of course, hopefully start the Dante Nori watch as well. The former first-round pick of the Phillies, who had himself a hell of a WBC for Team Italy, should start the season in AAA. When are we starting to talk about him for Brandon Marsh or Gabriel Raconis Jr.? These are all great problems for the Phillies to have. Now they got to maneuver them correctly. You could use Dante Nori as a trade bait at this point too. So there's a lot of options that come from this type of thing, but it's a great problem to have, I think, honestly. So good stuff there, guys. We are getting into the back end of we're coming up on an hour and a half. Let's get to our of the night segment so we can get through that onto our card review. And then I'm going to shut it down because a little bit later on, I got to clear the airwaves for clear the ice. That's right. The Quintessential Flyers postgame show returns tonight for our back-to-back. Mike Laro will have you in the wee hours of this morning. Not me. I'll be asleep when that show is happening. I'm tired. And then Mike will be back on Saturday at a more applicable time on Saturday afternoon, early evening for the Sharks game. So there's our clear the ice. Of course, next week it all starts. And here's the Titans final lineup one more time for the kickoff of the season. Me and Al will have you on Thursday night for the home opener and the season opener. Mike will get you on Saturday, and I will have you on Sunday for the series finale with the Rangers. So it's a great, again, been talking on this show lately about the great problems to have. This is definitely one of them as we're getting ready for the Titans final. Ain't no stopping it now as it's coming. It's bearing down on us. Ricky can be the first. All right, I'll let Ricky lead off on Sunday, Joe. Ricky, did you hear that? You could be the first caller on Sunday night. So let's get into the of the night segment here on the show. Let's key up the music. Yes, sir. Of the night is it, and we are still on the MLB draft 2026 prospect watch. I'm trying to make a little hit into it right now as we got about 11 players into the NHL draft. Now we're about, I think tonight would be 6 players into the MLB draft. It's good to get some traction here as we got a long road ahead of us when it comes to breaking these players down. Tonight we're going to focus our attention on Mr. Drew Burress, the outfielder from Georgia Tech. 21-year-older who bats right, throws right, is 5'9", a little bit undersized for a major league prospect outfielder, and weighing in at a heighty 185. Though he's shorter than listed. Oh wow! Now he's shorter than the listed 5'9", and he lacks projection. Burress has solid or better tools across the board. He has a compact and quick right-handed swing, plenty of strength, a disciplined approach at the plate, and plus power that plays to all fields. He hasn't played much with wood bats, but the bigger concern is that his stance has become very open and has led to struggles in his second stint with the U.S. Collegiate National Team last summer. So a project here, but yet a projected first-round project as most scouts look at this kid. Probably bottom end of your first round, potentially top mid-second round pick. And here's again, this has been something that I've paid attention to as we've been breaking this draft down. The attention to the hitting fundamentals, the re-engagement of hitting fundamentals. I've said this in these breakdowns throughout this early part of me breaking these players down. A lot of plate discipline talk, the use of all fields, hitting for contact, compact power swings that don't, that have totally abandoned the just misguided misapproach on the exit velo and the launch angle stuff. We're back to starting to hit. I told you this, I've been saying it, and I'll probably continue to bang on this drum throughout this baseball season and into the future. It is shifting. And now we're starting to see the first generation of the re-engaged players for hitting mechanics, and it's going to change the game eventually, and it's going to get us away from, let's face it, what we watched the other night in Team USA's unbalanced, unstructured power lineup that did not do anything when it needed to do it. So these are all great signs, and these are the players that are going to be the pioneers of this new revolution of players who are not caring anymore about hitting home runs, about a focus on actual hitting. And a 5'9", 185-pound who's listed shorter than 5'9", outfielder from Georgia Tech who's projected as a mid-end, bottom-end first-round pick is garnering a lot of attention because of his ability to be disciplined and use all fields. And it's a beautiful thing. And hallelujah to the Drew Burresses of the world and whoever coached him up. So there you go. Another player that is banging on the new drum of hitting mechanics. And that is your player of the night segment here on the show. Again, we're burning through these draft picks now. I got 6 of them done. Let's get to our final segment, and we haven't done this much this week, but we're going to finish up on a high note. Here we go. Yes, sir. MattyB's card review back in his house tonight. Going to go turn back the clock a bit. We're going to get away from the 2026, 2025. We're getting away from the digital era. We're going back to the wax pack era. Saw this card today when I was looking for the profile, and it just sort of stood out. 1, because of the way it's colored. 2, because of the player it is. And 3, because of the year it represents. It represents to me, and I think I've said this before, that transitional period right before Wax Pack died and digital came about. This was the maybe the front end of that period. The period where really kind of it got hot was around 92, 93, 94. This was in like the beginning of that transitional phase, getting away from wax. But a wax card, no doubt, and a card that's interestingly valuable for the type of card it is and what it represents. But again, a player that is a Hall of Famer, a player that is from my youth of watching these players and becoming a baseball fan. And again, we're talking about players who are disciplined in hitting, players who revolutionize the game. Just to see it change on them for this generation, now we're seeing a focus on returning to those fundamentals of hitting. Well, this guy was a hitter in all aspects of his career. And I speak of the man, the myth, the legend, Kirby Puckett of the Minnesota Twins. And this is his 1989 Donruss MVP card. It was an insert card of the 89 Donruss set, card number BC1. And again, not, it's the lesser card company of Donruss. Everything, the true money lies in Topps. But if you're paying attention to the card market, and I'm not saying it's happening like noticeably, but there's some signs that cards like the Donrusses, the Fleers, those defunct cards now that didn't make it, that were prevalent back in the 80s and 90s, they're starting to kind of, and now when they were initially produced, they were produced in mass. This card came out in thousands. There was thousands of this card. It wasn't very rare. It wasn't very valuable, right? But now, as we have moved through the years, and it's probably going to take another 30 to 40 years for it to fully take effect, but these cards are disappearing. A lot of the cards that were collected at the time are no longer either cared about because of their Donruss, or because they're wax cards, or because they're 1989, whatever. So they were cast aside. Some of the cards that were still mass produced and never opened were stored improperly, and they've become damaged through weather or water damage or whatever damage. So they're no longer viable. And if you happen to be able to find one of these cards now, it might not be a bad idea for you to put it away and let it sit for 30 years, because we're going to get more and more into that as the digital age continues to completely take over, which it has. But these cards are going to weed themselves out. And this is a perfect example of a card like this. I looked this thing up on a reputable site that I do business with. As an ungraded card, this card is about a $2 value. But as we go to a PSA 7, it goes up to a $4 value. PSA 8, $6. PSA 9, $8.50. PSA 9.5, $38.73. And valued and just recently sold not too long ago as a PSA 10, $185. So this is one of those cards And again, this is indicative of all those kind of, latter 80s, maybe early 90s, or even beyond, like 80, like 90 and below, right? If you're able to find one of these cards in mint condition that hasn't been damaged through water or just been neglected, it's not a bad idea to put these cards away because they're spiking. They're starting to make their little comeback because the cards are starting to disappear. Even though they were mass produced by thousands, they are now starting to dwindle. And eventually it happens to all the cards. Eventually that happens to every single card. And it's the ones who take the cards and take care of them are the ones that make the profit at the end. So Kirby Puckett, 1989 Donruss MVP, insert card BC1, valued if apparently if you're able to find yourself a PSA 10 at about $185, and a pretty cool looking card too. It's very colorful. No frills. You can see a little tendency now is where it's a wax pack card, but you can see the signs of some new age thinking with this card, right? They're using some deeper colors. They're starting to get a little bit, funky with the graphic there, with the MVP kind of letters sort of, moving away. Now you can start seeing the pioneering of what was to come in card collecting. So there you have it. There's and it's a Kirby Puckett. He's a Hall of Fame card. So there's the card in its real condition and its real form. And there you go. So we finish up the card of the night on a positive note. Kirby Puckett, 89 Donruss. All right, folks, listen. Speaking from the time frame of late October to March 19th, when we were at the 9 o'clock hour, I want to thank everybody who journeyed with us from 10 o'clock down to 9 o'clock. Now it's time to head back for the hills. We'll be moving to 10 o'clock. The next time we speak will be on Sunday night at 10 p.m. And that'll be our new time until sometime, hopefully, after Halloween, after the World Series has completed. But that is our new summer home. It is a very significant step in the realization that the Philly season is right here. It's right around the corner. And I could not be more excited and more happy to say, I will not see you anymore at this hour. Well, we'll be on at this point, but we will no longer start at 9 o'clock for the next, April, May, June, July, August, September, 7 months. That would be amazing. That we won't have to talk about that until 7 months from now. But thank you for being part of our 9 o'clock journey. It was a fun winter. We made the best of it. We made the most of it. Now it's time to get it going. We'll talk Sunday night. You'll be seeing me a couple times on Sunday. First at 5 p.m. as one of the hosts, if not the lead host of the Fighting's Final Season 5 premiere, our 2026 Phillies show, Phillies preview show. And then I'll be back at 10 p.m. on Sunday night for the final word. And all the great things that we have coming up on the network for the rest of the week. Here is our schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, tonight, you got Flyers Kings, Philly Friday Frenzy on Friday, the best of the It's a Wrap Sports on Saturday, Flyers Sharks clear the ice, and then Sunday we all started over again with the Philly AM Sports Show, our preview show, and then me at 10 o'clock. So there's our schedule for the rest of the week. You guys have yourself a great weekend. I will see you on Sunday afternoon. I'm out of here, and take care.